Hello, welcome to a new video. It is time for the final anticipated releases for 2024 releases. How? I don't understand. This year has just flown by, but this is for releases for October, November and December 2024. I'm gonna say right now, I can't find anything for December 2024 that is on my radar. So it's just October and November. So we're gonna go through. It's mostly October, and it's mostly sequels, I think. Oops. But we're gonna go through. So on October 1st, we have Make My Wish Come True by Rachel Lippincott and Alison Derrick. I am really excited for this. This sounds really cute. So, Hollywood teen actor Arden James's messy reputation is interfering with her career with a notoriously picky director who won't give her a role based on her party girl image. So she and her publicist make up a lie. Not only is she from a small town, true, but her childhood best friend Caroline is her long-term girlfriend, false, and she can prove it when she goes home for Christmas. Caroline Beckett hasn't thought about her best friend Arden James for years, focusing instead on her dreams of becoming a journalist. When Arden turns up on her doorstep and promises her an article in Cosmopolitan magazine on their 12 snow-covered romantic days together, Caroline agrees to play along. But when old feelings start to bubble up, what will fall faster? Arden and Caroline or the Christmas Eve snow? It's Christmas and Suffolk. Like, it's already won me over just with that. And also on the 1st of October, we have The Whispering Night by Susan Dennard. I can't tell you anything about this other than that is the third book in the Luminaries series by Susan Dennard. And I read the first two books this year, and two of my favourite books. Two of my favourite books of the year. So I'm very excited for this one. Next up on the 3rd of October is Air by Sabaa Tahir. This is another one that I can't tell you much about because this is the first in the sequel series to the Ember in the Ashes series, and I don't know what's going to be spoilery and what isn't, so I'm just not gonna. I haven't even read the blurb for this. All I know is that it's a sequel series, so I'm here for it. Next up is also on the 3rd, and it's one I can talk to you about. It's Best Hex Ever by Nadia El Fassi. So, a kitchen witch with a penchant for baking and a literally cursed love life meets someone who's worth breaking a hex for in this sweet and spicy debut romance. As a skilled kitchen witch, Dina Whitlock knows her way around a pastry recipe. In fact, she runs her very own London cafe, serving magic-infused pastries for her loyal customers. But only a select few friends know about her magical abilities or the hex that has plagued her love life. It's hard to fall in love when your partner is guaranteed to have a string of bad luck the second they start to have feelings for you. Scott Mason is back from travelling the world and is excited to begin his new job as a curator at the British Museum. After leaving London to heal from a brutal breakup 2 years ago, Scott only now realises how much he missed out on. Now that his best friend's wedding is right around the corner, Scott is determined to be the most amazing best man ever. But he doesn't expect to be bewitched by the maid of honour, who also happens to be the owner of his new favourite cafe, and more surprisingly, a witch. After a weekend in the countryside full of peculiar hedge mazes, palm readings by candlelight, and a midnight Halloween ritual, there's no denying the chemistry between them. But there's just one problem. The hex still holds, and Dina knows that Scott is in danger. In the past, she's always cut her losses, but this time is different. Scott could be the one. Will Dina be able to undo the hex before it's too late? I'm going to try and get to this one, like, ASAP when it comes out, because Halloween, and it sounds so good. So yeah. Next on the 8th of October is Bell's Hells, What Doesn't Break by Cassandra Core. Now, I can't tell you too much about this without spoiling campaign 3 of Critical Role, but this is following Laudna, who is Marisha Ray's character in campaign 3. And that's all I can really say. Next up on the 15th of October, we have Mace Windu, The Glass Abyss by Stephen Barnes. So the blurb for this is Jedi Master Mace Windu travels to a dangerous remote planet on a mission that challenges even his deadly prowess, all to fulfill Qui-Gon's last request. The Jedi are reeling from Qui-Gon Jinn's sudden death at the hands of a Sith. Jedi Master Mace Windu's feelings about Qui-Gon have always been complicated and have not been made any simpler in death. While they often disagreed, Mace valued Qui-Gon's unique perspective, and their shared dedication to the Force made them allies. Without Qui-Gon and his unorthodox views, Mace feels out of balance. While considering his fallen friend's legacy, Mace is surprised to receive a final message from Qui-Gon, marked to be delivered to Mace on the event of Qui-Gon's death. The message contains a last request, a plea to help the outer rim planet of Metagos. Many years ago, a violent solar flare transformed the surface of the desert planet into a landscape of irradiated glass, as beautiful as it's dangerous. Now, most of the surviving inhabitants live underground, where rival clans fight to control the planet's limited resources. As a young Jedi, Qui-Gon protected the Sayad farming clan from the planet's less scrupulous factions. The Sayad practiced the art of dream weaving, retaining their waking minds upon sleep in order to communicate and coexist with the wild creatures around them. Qui-Gon vowed to return if they ever required his aid, but now it falls to Mace to fulfill that promise. The Sayad's leader, Kin Shan Nightbird, has begged for the Jedi's help in freeing Megatos from the crime lords who threaten to eradicate her people's way of life. Intent on fulfilling Qui-Gon's final wishes, Mace travels to Megatos and infiltrates the enemies of the Sayad. But as the Jedi Master investigates the intricate web of adversaries and allies, Mace finds himself pushed to the boundaries of the Jedi Code, challenging his beliefs and his relationship to the Force itself. This sounds so good. I love reading Star Wars stories. Don't know if you can tell, but my favourite ones are the ones that are based on characters we know from the movies and the TV shows. And who doesn't love Mace Windu? Next up, also on the 15th, is If I Stopped Haunting You by Colby Wilkins. An enemies to lovers romance with a spooky twist where two feuding writers end up on a writer's retreat together at a haunted castle in Scotland. It's been months since horror author Penelope Skinner threw a book at Neil Storm, but he was so infuriating with his sparkling green eyes and his best-selling horror novels that claimed to break native stereotypes. And now she's a publishing pariah and hasn't been able to write a word since. So when her friend invites her on a too good to be true writer's retreat in a supposedly haunted Scottish castle, she seizes the opportunity. Of course, some things really are too good to be true. Neil wants nothing less than to be trapped in a castle with the frustratingly adorable woman who threw a book at him. She drew blood. Worse still, she unleashed a serious case of self-doubt. Neil is terrified to write another best-selling book without a soul, as Penn called it. All Neil wants is to find inspiration while completely avoiding her. But as the retreat begins, Penn and Neil are stunned to find themselves trapped in a real-life ghost story. Even more horrifying, they're stuck together and a truly shocking, extremely hot, almost kiss has left them rethinking their feelings, and maybe they shouldn't have been enemies at all. But if they can't stop the ghost pursuing them, they may never have the chance to find out. That sounds so good. I wish this came out early in the month, because I don't think I'm going to manage to get it in time. And that's just a crying shame. Next, on the 22nd of October, is Spectacular by Stephanie Garber. Now, I'm, again, not going to say anything about this because I believe this is a short story collection set in the Caraval world. And obviously, spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything. But I am looking forward to more from this world. Then on the 29th of October, we have Spell of the Sinister by Danielle Page. So this is the sequel to Wish of the Wicked, which I haven't actually read yet. But again, I can't tell you about the blurb because, one, I haven't read the first book, and two, it's a sequel. Also on the 29th of October is another sequel I can't talk to you about. It's Throne of Secrets by Kerri Maniscalco. Obviously, Kingdom of the Wicked series. There was a sequel standalone, which was Throne of the Fallen, and this is the next standalone in that series, which is continuing the series essentially. So the final October one is actually one I think I've talked about in a previous video because it was supposed to come out in September, but it's been pushed back, and that's Phantom Hearts by Rosie Talbot. I don't know why I can't speak properly today. I don't understand. But Phantom Hearts by Rosie Talbot. So this is actually a graphic novel, and it's got 16-year-old Malia is popular, pretty and smart, but underneath her carefully crafted facade, she's struggling with anxiety. When a school bus crashes, killing some of her fellow students, Malia is thrown into a further emotional spiral as she remembers the students, rebel and dropout Shepard, volatile track star Russ, and brainy Emil. When Malia meets Keezy, the cute daughter of the local mechanic, the two begin to question the motive for the crash. As Malia and Keezy start to uncover secrets, Malia starts to see ghosts wherever she goes. How will Malia find time to flirt with Keezy when pursued by restless spirits? What don't the dead classmates want her to discover? And will Malia ever find the courage to tell Keezy how she feels? It sounds cute, spooky, sapphic. That's all I need. And then on to November. So the first one for November is on the 12th, and it is The Lotus Empire by Tasha Suri. This is the third book in the Burning Kingdom series. I'm pretty sure that's the name of the series. Obviously, it's the third book in a trilogy. I can't tell you much about it, but I am really excited for this because I read Jasmine Throne last year. I read the second book this year, and I need book 3. I should have waited to read book 2, but I didn't. And it's too late now, but I can't wait for this one. And then finally on the 19th of November, we have The Songbird and the Heart of Stone by Carissa Broadbent. This is the next book in the world of Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I think is the Crowns of Nyaxia or Nixia, something like that. I have only read the first book. I need to read the novella and I need to read book 2, but this is the next book, and I am really excited because I really enjoyed the first book and I'm hoping to get to the next one soon. Ready for this one to come out. Will it happen? Probably not, but I can certainly try. And then, like I said before, I have nothing for December. So let me know in the comments below if you have any anticipated releases that are coming out in October, November or December this year. Especially December because I have none. But I hope you enjoyed this video and got some recommendations. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.